You've probably heard of the flashy, wealthy CEOs who spend millions on lavish residences with 20 bedrooms and travel to far-off places in private aircraft just because they can. But what about the billionaires who go about their business like everyone else and choose to live their lives away from the spotlight? The super rich are frequently stereotyped as extravagant spenders, yet few have decided to be humble and demonstrate to the world that their success is not defined by status symbols. These ultra-billionaires live in modest homes, dress modestly, and prefer to conserve money rather than squander it. Today's video features 10 ultra-rich people who are living well below their means. These 10 billionaires are so modest that they'll cause you to reevaluate your priorities. And to the multitudes of non-billionaires who aspire to climb up, their strategies, cautious spending, and wise saving will offer helpful lessons. First on our list is Azim Premji, who is unquestionably a unique individual. Premji is regarded as one of the most moral billionaires to have ever lived. Even the richest men pale in comparison to Premji's legacy, which has become so ingrained in the business world at the age of 77. The former chairman of Wipro Limited was an Indian businessman and philanthropist who built his company out of passion rather than greed. Once his coffers grew full, Azim started his charitable activities with the sole purpose of helping the less fortunate. He started the non-profit Azim Premji Foundation in 2001 with the goal of improving the basic education system in rural government schools. But that wasn't all. He also donated $2 billion to the cause, making it one of the biggest donations ever made in India. Azim kept breaking barriers as the first Indian to participate in Bill Gates and Warren Buffett's The Giving Pledge program. He also donated an extra 34% of his Wipro stock to the charity in March 2019, a large portion that is rarely given by anyone. His efforts have received numerous honors and earned him a spot on numerous magazine lists, including Time's 100 Most Influential People. Azim's influence and philanthropy remain strong, and he possesses a rare combination of humility and wealth, serving as an example to future billionaires. Moving on to a more familiar face, let's check out Leonardo DiCaprio. DiCaprio undoubtedly radiates the aura of a true celebrity. The Oscar-winning actor is often seen with one young model or the other, and is also known to throw really fun parties. But surprisingly, he is also one of the most thrifty celebrities out there. Let's be clear, we're not saying Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't spend a lot of money. Although he undoubtedly enjoys a life of luxury, he is surprisingly frugal due to his dedication to environmental protection and eco-friendly practices. The actor and producer is said to have a net worth of over $250 million, and the sole exception to his typically modest way of living was his $2.5 million purchase of an island close to Belize. You probably think he also spends money on dozens of luxurious supercars, but the actor only owns one car and no private jets, and participates in numerous philanthropic projects. Another frugal billionaire is Jim C. Walton, Walmart heir and chairman of Arvest Bank. Jim C. Walton is one of the youngest sons of Walmart founder Sam Walton, who was also known for his thrifty nature. Walton owns a significant amount of Walmart stock and manages Arvest Bank, a personal wealth management firm controlled by his family. The image of Walmart, the company that helped this billionaire get wealthy, is one of low prices and a small-town feel, and the billionaire practices the same Walmart philosophy daily. This billionaire has an estimated fortune of $36.9 billion, which could get him about 10 mega yachts, private jets, and a mansion in every city of the world. But his company is located in a brick building rather than a flashy high-rise, and he rides a rusted Dodge Dakota pickup. He also chooses to live in the one-horse town of Bentonville, Arkansas. Would you live like this if you were a billionaire? Let us know in the comments. Up next on our list is one celebrity virtually loved by all, Keanu Reeves. Everyone has heard stories about what a terrific guy Reeves is. The actor has acquired a $380 million fortune thanks to his successful career. Nevertheless, instead of hiring a private chauffeur or driving around in a Ferrari, the actor prefers to use the New York subway. The action star spent many years without owning a home, and once compared his lifestyle to that of a gypsy. He usually rides the bus or the train, and once said, "Money is the last thing I care about. I could live on what I have already made for the next few centuries." Now, that's not something you hear often from a super rich guy. In 2015, the John Wick actor made news after he was seen giving up his subway seat to a stranger carrying a large luggage. But this wasn't one of Reeves' first viral acts of kindness. This actor has since done 1,000,001 other good deeds. Here's one. Although the Matrix trilogy earned the actor a cool $80 million, Reeves shared his sizable salary with the movie's makeup and special effects crews. Also, Reeves has contributed money to cancer research and children's hospitals. Although his name is not tied to the organization, the celebrity is said to head up a secret charity that helps sick children. This level of generosity not only makes Keanu a fantastic person, but it also makes the rest of us look kinda bad in comparison. Now to Chuck Feeney, co-founder of Duty Free Shoppers Group. Chuck Feeney is possibly the most amazing example of generosity and humility among billionaires alive today. Nonetheless, it is said that he only has a $2 million net worth. So how come he's on the list? Here's why. With his foundation, the Atlantic Philanthropies, Feeney has given more than $8 billion to foundations, universities, and charities around the world over the past 40 years. By 2016, Feeney and his wife Helga had donated around $8 billion, or more than 99.99% of their fortune, to a wide range of charity causes that backed initiatives like scientific research, human rights, and higher education. It was also Feeney's intention to give while living. He never did it for attention or recognition. In fact, he made it a requirement that their donations stay anonymous. With the remaining $2 million in savings, Feeney and his wife Helga are now able to live comfortably in a small apartment in San Francisco, as he had always wanted. Moving on, here's a billionaire we've probably all heard of, Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, the brains behind Facebook, is a multi-billionaire, but the 38-year-old maintains an incredibly low-key lifestyle. Zuckerberg is rumored to drive an Acura because it's safe and not ostentatious, and is known for wearing the same gray t-shirt and sweatshirt to work every day. He married his longtime partner Priscilla Chan in his backyard, and the two were spotted eating at a McDonald's while on their Italian honeymoon. According to reports, Zuckerberg leads a quiet life and works up to 60 hours every week at Meta's Palo Alto headquarters. Instead of wearing pricey tailored suits, Zuckerberg favors t-shirts and jeans, sneakers and sandals over Italian leather shoes. His one major indulgence, however, appears to be real estate, as evidenced by the fact that he owns a portfolio of homes valued at more than $320 million. Now to Mexican business magnate Carlos Slim. Here's a fun fact. Media tycoon Carlos Slim, who saved the struggling New York Times, could spend $1,000 each minute for the next 100 years and still have money left over. The former CEO of Telmex could essentially do whatever he wanted with his estimated net worth of $90.7 billion, but he decides to live modestly. He doesn't own a boat, let alone a yacht. He doesn't even own a private plane, so he takes commercial flights. He's been living with his family in the same modest 6-bedroom home for the past 30 years, and he drives by himself to work every day. He feels there is no need to show off. Instead, he should conserve money and cling to the fundamental ideals of friendship and family. Slim buys the majority of his clothes off the rack from one of the numerous shop franchises he owns, making him considerably more stylishly dressed than Mark Zuckerberg. Slim has nevertheless maintained his wealth by being a brilliant businessman and investor. Let's now take a look at one of the most popular billionaires on Earth, Bill Gates. One of the most well-known and successful businessmen in the world, Bill Gates is the co-founder of Microsoft and has a total net worth of over $100 billion. With that much money, you'd expect him to have a super expensive watch collection consisting of vintage Rolexes and Richard Milles. But he doesn't. Instead, he wears a series of low-cost Casio timepieces. And here's the craziest part. His favorite watch costs just $10. Also, he enjoys wearing vintage clothes and still washes the family's dishes after dinner. He's definitely the most expensive dishwasher in the world. The world's most generous man, Bill Gates has donated more than $40 billion to charity thus far, much of it through yearly donations to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which uses the money to combat poverty and advance healthcare. This list would definitely not be complete without Warren Buffett, CEO and chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. Everyone is familiar with Warren Buffett and is aware of his enormous riches. But many people are unaware of the fact that, despite having a net worth of $107 billion, he is incredibly thrifty. In fact, frugality is probably in his DNA. Buffett is still residing in the house in Omaha, Nebraska that he purchased for $31,500 almost 50 years ago. He doesn't own a yacht because, in his words, most toys are just a pain in the neck. He could afford to have an entire fleet of limousines at his disposal, but he prefers to drive himself and owns a Cadillac XTS that he paid $45,000 for in 2014. And before going to work, he stops at McDonald's and buys one of 3 different breakfast options, the most costly of which costs $3.17. According to reports, he only recently gave up his flip phone, and his workspace doesn't even have a computer. Oh, and he uses credit cards. One of them is an American Express Green Card, a low-level card that is not one of those high-end cards for the super rich. In addition, he donates a large portion of his wealth, billions of dollars, to numerous foundations for good causes, many of which were established by his children, who have since dedicated their lives to causes that are important to them. He has even pleaded with Washington to raise his taxes. Can you believe that? Since you've made it this far in the video, how about we check out 2 more super rich people who live modestly? Let's take a look at Michelle Obama. The former First Lady is very well known for her frugal nature. She has a reputation for finding methods to save money on clothing as well as on common household items. One time, she was seen doing some shopping at a Target store in the Washington, D.C. region while her husband, former President Barack Obama, was in office. What did she buy? According to rumors, Mrs. Obama purchased dog food and toys for the first family's dog, Bo. Despite having access to almost any high-end designer label she desires, Mrs. Obama occasionally opts to dress in items from budget retailers like H&M. She even wore a $35 outfit from the store when she made an appearance on Today in 2011. You must agree that she was probably the most thrifty First Lady to ever grace the White House. To round up the video, let's check out Amancio Ortega, the founder of Zara. One of the wealthiest businessmen and fashion pioneers in Europe, Amancio Ortega is the entrepreneur behind some of the most well-known labels, including Bershka, Zara, and Tempe. Ortega's net worth is around $70 billion as of February 2023, making him one of the world's richest entrepreneurs. But the fashion retailer hasn't allowed it to get to his head. Ortega is a plain dresser who consistently dons a blue blazer, a white shirt, and gray pants. Also, he and his wife reside in a quiet apartment building in La Coruña, Spain. He has lunch with his co-workers in the Zara cafeteria and visits the same coffee shop each day. In fact, Ortega doesn't drive a flashy sports car. He drives an Audi A8. His only significant indulges are a $45 million Bombardier Global Express BD700 private jet and a stunning $15 billion real estate empire. We've come to the end of the list, guys. Without any doubt, we all can learn from the good financial practices of these billionaires. Or have you learned something from them already? Let us know in the comments. Also, be sure to like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on our post notifications. See you next time.